Joe Budden and Taxstone are going at it on Twitter. That's right, y'all. Joe Budden is in a firestorm after he addressed the Diddy situation, which everyone asked him to. But all of the people who have had issues with Joe are now coming out the woodwork. And one of those people is none other than the Podfather before there was the Podfather, after the original Podfather, Taxstone. Right? Everybody remembers Taxstone. He was the architect behind Tax Season, one of the best podcasts to ever exist in the space. However, he got into an altercation with Troy Ave that led to someone's death, and now he is in jail for a really, really long time. Well, after Joe Budden made the comments on his podcast calling out Diddy, Taxstone would go on Twitter and address Joe Budden's past and said, on the next lifetime, life after Joe Budden. Now, this is in no doubt a reference to some of the people in Joe's past who have been, bringing up some things. And Joe Budden would respond and say, it'll be a lifetime before you can watch it. And then Taxstone says, I got a TV. And then Joe Budden says, I try. And then Taxstone says, beat your girl up so we can bunk up and I'll have you wash my socks and we could pod together. Joe Budden says, wash your socks? You ain't learned how to fight that well. That's how you got in there, buddy. And then Taxstone would say, I effed up about 5 dudes that night. Get your story from a reliable source, G Money. I don't know if that's a reference to Queens Flip's DJ friend G Money, or if he's just making a reference to the movie New Jack City. Time will tell, but we will see. But that wasn't the only thing Joe Budden said. He would respond to someone else responding to the Taxstone and Joe Budden exchange, who said son got snuffed and pulled out that hammer immediately. And Joe Budden said, like the beep, he is. Now, this is obviously no love lost between the two men. Ever since Taxstone got locked up, Taxstone has sent tweets at Joe Budden, and Joe Budden would escalate things a little bit by saying SMD on his podcast, and then apparently somebody beat up Joe Budden at the club. Well, not beat him up. They swung on Joe Budden at the club. Let me take that back. They swung on Joe Budden at the club. They got into fisticuffs and blah, blah, blah. The rest is history. But what do you guys think? I mean, everybody wanted Joe Budden to talk about the Diddy situation, this platform included, but now he's dealing with the backlash from former partners and enemies who feel like he has done them wrong. And that is no doubtedly something that happened as a result of his Diddy comments. And also, what do you think about this Joe Budden Taxstone exchange? I think Joe Budden is just always going to win because he's free. And he knows that it probably hurts Taxstone, even though he doesn't want to admit it, that he was next up. Like, you know how there's some people in life who they say, oh, he was really about to make it. And then you look at it and say, nah, they're just saying that because it all went bad. Now, with Taxstone, he was really about to make it. He was on the verge of getting to some level of a podcast bag, millions of dollars, getting where he needed to go. He was going to be the first one to break through. But that tragic night would derail his whole career. And now it looks like he's going to be in jail for a really long time. Even though, Tax likes to tweet things like, hey, the judge was very messed up in what he did. It just doesn't look like Tax is going to be apologetic enough to get his sentence reduced. And Joe Budden isn't letting up. It's crazy, though, because I don't know. Maybe Joe Budden should just ignore Taxstone. Because Taxstone just looks like he is ready to go there. It really has escalated to physical altercations already. And I don't know. I would let things go between Tax. Just let it go, man. Stick to the rivers and lakes you're used to, Joe. Alright, y'all. Let me know what you think about this pod war. Follow me on Instagram, The Stop TV. Follow me on Twitter, The Stop TV. This is Danny from The Stop. Peace.